Okay, here we have version 1 of the prototype. It's a completely finished prototype made out of MDF. The final build materials are going to be a nice walnut, and then a 3D printed or injection molded housing right here. We have a speaker, we have the screen, we have the joystick, we have switches, we have a pot. This pot's a little bigger than what I want to use to control volume. Again, just a stand-in puzzle maze, and then in the back we have some venting, and then we have the drawer in the back that actually opens. So you're going to see that this hidden compartment contains all the electronics. It's a little rough right now, but it shows that that's all there. This is the plug-in for a servo that actuates this and controls this from opening. It's just pressure that basically makes this open in the back. That's going to have a wall basically cordoning off the electronics that are right there. So let's plug it in and get it started so that way you can see what it looks like when it boots up. So right now it's kind of a long crawl. It takes about a minute for it to fully boot up, but it will boot up and it will do its thing. So right now you're seeing that it's going through to boot up. It's going to go through a Linux boot up crawl, so it takes a bit of time, but that's something that I'm confident we can work out in software. So it's going through its boot up crawl right now, as you notice. And we'll show everything working with it. So the screen is about 3.5 inches. It's a TFT LCD. It's something that I found online. It's actually a car monitor, so it's used for backup cameras. It actually runs off of 6 volts. It has a chip on it that we figured out through a tutorial that you can resolder and rewire to get it to work off of 5 volts. So right now this LCD is running off of the chip, which is inside of the casing powering this entire thing. Inside, behind the speaker, you're going to find, this is where we're going to put the first Prestige, and you can see the little wires that we're going to use to power the servo in the back here. I'm sorry, this is for the switch that actuates the servo and makes it close again. But speaker here, this will probably be covered up with the plastic housing, but that opens and closes, and then hidden behind. And again, this is just a stand-in. There's going to be something a little more thought out and better looking here that has the college's logo there. Sorry, it's really loud in here, but we're in the middle of the lab. So right now it's going through the boot up. It's in the terminal. It's going to open Pico 8, and there you go. So now we're in Pico 8. What we can do from here is we can actually start playing a game. So if I hit this switch right here, it'll take us into Pico 8. Pico 8 boots up, and then you can see that we can play demos or games. So this is just something that Zap, the guy that made Pico 8, I think, made to announce a workshop. So if I hit escape, it'll take me into the menu, and then I can choose different games to try. So I can actually go and I can obviously explore. I can exit explore. I can we're connected here through the lab's Wi-Fi, so I can actually update and find new games. So in the final version, once recipients fully unlock the cabinet, they'll be able to access this and then potentially download unlimited games. I have some games that I've favorited. I love Hackaday. It's a really funny game. So this fully works. You can see that the directional pad will work. The screen is looking a little washed out, by the way, I'm realizing, but that's mostly just because I damaged the screen from taking it apart and putting it together over and over again. So the final screen, it actually looks really great. The colors are great, but unfortunately on this version it's a little messed up. But that's something that will be addressed later on. When we build the final versions of the cabinet, we'll take that into account and make sure there's no stress points on any of the wiring internally, which is how I damaged the original speaker. Below the cabinet, you're going to find basically the power. We're going to move this cable so it's in the back, and then it kind of goes out towards the back, so it's a little invisible. And then there's a reset switch here that, or right now it's acting like a power switch, but if I hit that, it'll actually turn off the cabinet experience. And then you can also unplug the power if you so desire. And the nifty thing about using the chip is that inside you're going to find that there's a small 150 milliamp battery with a little pouch that we built into the casing. And basically what that does is on a power disconnect, it'll power the chip long enough to do a shutdown sequence, so we don't have to worry about corrupting our software. So lots of little features, lots of little cool things that we've managed to build into our version 1 prototype right now. Right now the important thing is that everything's in there, everything's working, we have everything connected. Next steps is final material tests, and then building something that looks more representative of the final product. But this is where we're at. This is the version 1 prototype of the College of the Creatives cabinet. I think it looks pretty good for something made out of MDF that eventually again will be made out of walnut, injection molded or 3D printed plastic that's going to be painted, and then of course this is going to be covered in a speaker fabric. But version 1 of the prototype for the College of the Creatives cabinet is done. From here on, it's on to final prototypes. So thank you for watching.